Day, crafty chums, and welcome to my channel. It's Nikki here, and I'm coming at you today with my altered calendar, and this is a collaboration between Ilene, Anneliese from Anneliese Creates, and myself, and it's a year-long project to alter a used calendar. Mine isn't a used one, mine's a new one, but it's one that came in through the mail. And so this is the February, My Colourful Life, and so it's the second month of doing this collaboration. The prompts for this month was orange and red, and I bet you all thought I'm going to do a heart, but I'm not. No. Here what I'm doing is cutting out orange and red pieces of paper with black, because it's orange and red plus black and white. That the black and white will be every month as well, with different colours as we go throughout the year. So I cut out all this paper, and then I got fed up of cutting out all this paper. And not yet, I didn't get fed up yet. What I did was I got fed up there, so I thought, oh, I'll colour in the red on the koru, or the root of life, if you like, and which is the shape I've drawn. And I paint it red, and then I start to stick on the shapes that I've cut out, and then I changed my mind. I changed my mind because it was going to take me forever, and I didn't want to make too long a video on this one. So yeah, so here I am. I'm painting the koru, or the root of life, red. Normally this would be in green. Normally I would actually paint this in green, but the prompt was orange and red, so that's what I went with. And you know, it's like love. It's like love. You know, it's what you do on a heart, usually for Valentine's, which happens February. However, in New Zealand there is also something far more important that happens in February, and that's on February the 6th, and that's the Treaty of Waitangi, or in Maori, Te Tiriti o Waitangi. And I hope I didn't butcher that too hard, but that's how it's pronounced. And so the Treaty of Waitangi, or Te Tiriti o Waitangi, was a treaty first signed on the 6th of February in 1840, and it was signed by representatives of the British Crown and Maori chiefs from the North Island. So there are actually three principles of the treaty, or the Treaty of Waitangi, and the three P's are often referred to, are the principles of partnership, participation, and protection. Those principles underpin the relationship between the government and Maori under the Treaty of Waitangi, and these principles are derived from the underlying tenets of the treaty. So, and here you can see that I'm still sticking on my shapes to the koru, or the root of life. And I'm just about to start getting a little bit fed up with it any moment now. Any moment now. And there we go, I'm ripping them off. So then I start again. So the Treaty of Waitangi, or Te Tiriti o Waitangi, is an important agreement, and it was signed by the representatives of the British Crown and Maori in 1840. And the purpose of the treaty was to enable the British settlers and the Maori people to live together in New Zealand under a common set of laws or agreements. And there are many reasons why people believe that the treaty was signed so that Maori could trade with Europeans, and and they also believed that the relationship with Britain would stop the fighting between the tribes, the Maori tribes that are in New Zealand. So, is there anything else I can tell you about the Treaty of Waitangi? Of course, I'm an incomer, and and so I'm not too sure of all the ins and outs of the treaty. Just that there is still lots of dissension over the way the treaty has been carried out over the years. So it was signed by the Lieutenant Governor William Hobson in May 1840, and most chiefs signed a Maori language version of the treaty, even though I'm not sure how many Maoris were literate at the time, the same as British settlers as well. I don't know how many of those were literate either. So that's, yeah. What else can I say? So the treaty, of course, obviously is the founding document, and it takes its name from Waitangi in the Bay of Islands, which is top of the North Island in New Zealand, and it was it's celebrated every year in New Zealand. It's actually a public holiday and enjoyed by all. And there are lots of meetings that happen on the treaty grounds on this day, where lots of officials meet with Maori chiefs, and that in Waitangi at a government house, I believe, or the government grounds, or I think it's something like that. I'm not positive on that, and anybody from New Zealand can put me right on this. As I say, because I'm an incomer and I don't understand all the ins and outs, it's just a very important day in New Zealand for Maori and New Zealanders alike. And we should all know about it. We should all know at least something about it. And my knowledge is not very deep on it yet, but I still do lots of reading around the treaty and everything else, and it's a very important document, and all New Zealanders should know about it. And because of that, hey, you get to know about it as well. February the 6th. And so I've done my main piece of art here, which was I was thinking Koru, Root of Life, and I'm just refining bits and pieces here. I think you'll see that I will just refining the shape of it, and I will actually put some gold on it as well, and then I just do some borders with some stars and some hearts, because that's, nice. And then I commemorate the treaty, of course, by writing on the Treaty of Waitangi Te Tiriti o Waitangi, February 6th, because this is my February page in the calendar, and yeah. So, of course, I just want to quickly say as well that there was an English version of the treaty and a Maori language version of the treaty, and of course things get lost in translation. And the treaty in Maori was deemed to convey the meaning of the English version, but as I say, things are lost in translation, and so there are important differences. Most significantly, for the English and the Maori, was the word sovereignty, and this was translated as, excuse my Maori as well there, kawanatanga, or governance. And some Maori believed that they were giving up government over their lands, but retaining the right to manage their own affairs. And the English version guaranteed undisturbed possession of all their properties, but the Maori version guaranteed Tino Rangatirautanga, which is full authority over Tonga which was treasures. So so there's been long-standing debate, of course, over the wording of the treaty, and since the 1970s, where there were riots and lots of protests and things, um, uh, um, from Maori, and of course, obviously, some Kiwis as well, um, for calls for the terms of the treaty to be honoured. And as I say, I don't know a lot about it, you know, because I'm an incomer, and so I'm new to everything treaty. And although I, you know, as I say, I do know a little bit about it, but not really in depth understanding of the treaty. And quite often there will be protests and marching on Parliament and everything else, so that the Maori voice can be heard. So each year, the commemoration of the Treaty of Waitangi is, as I say, held up in the Waitangi grounds, and in the Waitangi grounds, and there's always something on TV about it. More often than not, there'll be a little kerfuffle and scuffle with members of Parliament and Maori, which of course always obviously helps to keep the meaning of the treaty forefront in everybody's minds, and so you can sort of like understand that. So in 1840, it's a long time ago. What's it? It's 170. I don't know. 179. I'm going to 179 years since the treaty was signed. So yeah, and it's open to interpretation, of course, because of language used, and things are lost in translation. And you know, we have to remember that as well, is that it's you know, what was meant probably when the treaty was signed is not what happened overall, because it was translated by whichever side for their own. I don't know, I won't say too much on it because I don't want to be controversial. I don't want to cause arguments with my Kiwi friends. But yeah, let's just agree that things are lost in translation, and people have every right to feel aggrieved by things that were lost and taken. And yeah, it's a hard thing to bear, and a hard thing to try to explain to other people as well when you don't have that much in-depth knowledge yourself. But as I say, obviously it's important, and I just wanted to bring awareness to this really important day in New Zealand and New Zealand's history. So this is what this page is all about. I haven't explained it very well, and I apologise for that. But don't let that stop you from coming to visit my channel. Please like, subscribe, share if you want to, but definitely like and subscribe, because that all helps me. A kind comment would help too. And I will see you all again soon. All links will be in the description box below this video. Thanks very much. See you again soon. Bye.